Mr. Fontule should be finished presently.
Listen, you old pit viper. I've stuck my neck out for you financing this new factory of yours.
All right, all right. Calm yourself, dear boy. No need to get excited.
Well, if I'm excited, it's your fault. Quid pro quo, Victor, you slippery worm. I don't like all this cloak and dagger nonsense.
Just a little professional discretion, Gordon. We don't want anyone stealing our recipes, do we?
Discretion? I don't care a fig for your discretion. I care about what's being done with my money.
Be at ease, my friend. I'll explain it all at the shareholders' meeting. For now, please trust that things are progressing on schedule and as planned.
I don't like being left in the dark, Victor. I don't like it at all. You'd better have some answers next time we meet.
Sir, a voodoo detective is here to see you.
A detective?
Voodoo Detective, Mr. Fontule. I was hoping we could talk.
I see. Well, why don't you join me in my office?
You've got quite the collection here. I don't even know what most of this stuff is.
Ah, yes. Those are from the old days before Island Ventures. I used to travel all over the world, collecting bits and bobs from hither and yon. I find different cultures completely fascinating. It's a bit of a hobby.
Looks like a wedding photo.
Ah, what a happy day that was. Bloom of the peach, blush of the berry, my sweet, sweet Mary.
Right. It's a map of a place called Ventures Island.
That's right. Island Ventures has big plans for Ventures Island. I do apologize for the excitement out there. When in business, one must deal with all sorts of people. Especially when you require funding.
What was that argument about?
Well, Island Ventures' subsidiary, Island Kitchen, is preparing to launch a new line of food. I'm holding the cards pretty close to my chest to avoid any leaks. Gordon doesn't like that. But surely that has nothing to do with why you've come to see me. Unless you, too, wish to inquire about the particulars of our new secret recipes?
I'm here on behalf of my client, your wife.
Mary? My God, I've been worried sick. Is she all right? She'd been acting like a completely different person, and then she just up and left.
I've got some questions about your wife.
Please, go ahead.
Was Mary spending time with anyone new prior to her memory loss?
Not that I know of. My work requires frequent travel, and Mary always insists on joining me. Couple that with a proclivity for solitude, and she isn't left with much opportunity to make new acquaintances. At least, none that I would be unaware of.
Does Mary have any close friends?
Mary keeps largely to herself, but she does visit with my nephew's wife on occasion. Her name is Kiki Lawton.
Do you know how I can reach Mrs. Lawton?
I know Kiki and Mary often enjoy brunch together at the Chic Shore restaurant. You might try there.
What do you know about Mrs. Lawton?
Kiki is the wife of my nephew, Theodore, but I'm afraid I don't know her very well.
If you don't mind, I've got other questions. Do you know of anyone who would want to harm Mary?
Heavens, no. Everyone loves Mary. She's kind and good. She never bothers anyone. A mind would have to be truly unhinged to harm a sweet, delicate flower like Mary.
What do you know about Mary's past?
I'm afraid very little. I know both of Mary's parents died when she was young, and she has no siblings. But she doesn't like to talk about her past, and I don't wish to reopen old wounds.
Mary was given this pendant around the time she lost her memory. Look familiar?
Why, yes. She brought it to me shortly after her memory trouble began. We never were able to find out where it came from. Do you think it has anything to do with her amnesia?
I don't know yet. That's enough about your wife for now. Can you let me into the greenhouse?
My butler, Benny, manages the grounds here. You'll have to ask him about it. Though he has become a bit more particular about whom he lets in since his tiff with the local barman.
Do you mind if I ask some personal questions?
Go right ahead.
You've amassed quite the fortune. Got any greedy-eyed next of kin looking for a slice of inheritance pie?
No, nothing like that. The only family I have aside from Mary is my nephew, Theodore Lawton. He runs a law practice downtown and works as my lawyer.
And if you and Mary were out of the picture, he would stand to inherit quite a lot of lettuce, right?
Are you suggesting that Theodore is trying to kill my wife?
I'm not suggesting anything, just exploring possibilities. Do you know of anyone who might want to do you harm? Someone who might go after your wife to get to you?
In business, one has many competitors. And of course, if you're successful, there are bound to be those who look on with covetous eyes. But business is about optimizing profit, Detective, and there is no profit in harming a man's wife.
That's enough about you for now. That's all for now.
Godspeed, Detective.
Nothing compliments a hot day like a roaring fire.
Except perhaps a trench coat?
You've got quite the collection here. I don't even know what most of this stuff is.
Ah, yes. Those are from the old days before island ventures. I used to travel all over the world, collecting bits and bobs from hither and yon. I find different cultures completely fascinating. It's a bit of a hobby.
Well, if it isn't Benny the butler.
Hello, Detective. What can I do for you?
What can you tell me about Mrs. Fontoul?
Mary is a good woman. She's always been generous to me. She used to sit for hours with that kind, blank stare of hers, listening to my opera when no one else would. It was unlike her to leave the way she did. I've been so worried. I do hope she's all right.
Did you notice anything strange about Mary before she lost her memory?
Not that I can recall. She seemed every bit her normal, quiet self. Completely imperturbable, as though a veil of calm separated her from the troubles of the world.
Did Mary start spending time with anyone new prior to her memory loss?
I don't think so. She only really spent time with Mr. Fontoul and her friend Kiki Lawton. And myself, of course, the dear.
Do you know of anyone who would want to harm Mary?
No, I don't. Mary never hurt or offended anyone. Frankly, she didn't interact with all that many people to begin with.
I've got this gold pendant here. Have you ever seen it?
Sorry, no.
If you don't mind, I have a few other questions. What can you tell me about Mr. Fontoul?
Mr. Fontoul is a beneficent gentleman. I can make no complaints about the time I've spent working under his employ. Even if I could, it's not a butler's place to say such things.
Do you live here?
Why, yes. My quarters are adjacent to the staircase.
Can you let me into the greenhouse?
I'm afraid not. The Fontule greenhouse represents a spectacular botanical achievement. The variation in provenance among the flora we cultivate requires careful attention. The only way to maintain precise control over the environment is to limit the number of visitors we allow in. That's why I'm the only one with a key. I am sorry.
I got this letter here addressed to you.
Where did you get that? Have you been in my room?
This looks awfully bad, Benny boy. A letter from someone who doesn't appreciate your attentions. A book of hoodoo in your room. And Mary Fontule wakes up without her memory. Care to explain?
You have been in my room. Mr. Detective, I resent what you're insinuating, and I absolutely cannot abide you invading my privacy. I have nothing but respect and admiration for Mary Fontule. She's my dear friend, and one of the few people to show interest in my opera. I will speak no more on the matter.
Thanks, Benny. The greenhouse is locked.
I told you, no further question. God, you don't listen. You're just like her, always manipulating, putting on an act.
BC.
I cert.
I'd rather talk to a loaded gun.
Good day, sir. What can I do for you?
I'll take a meal for one and drinks for two.
Great. Find yourself a table and I'll be right with you. Can I get you anything?
What's on the menu?
Well, let's see. We have our macadamia nut crusted mahi-mahi bites. There's the steamed miso Thai snapper. Our special today is poisson cru, made using deadly fugo fish. For drinks, we have the mighty mango mojito, our marooned martini, and our most popular drink, the Voodoo Wipeout Punch.
How about something to sand down the edges?
Certainly. What'll it be?
I'll have the Voodoo Punch.
Very good choice. Bon appetit.
Where'd you get that drink?
Why, from our bar, of course.
And you were just carrying it in your jacket?
They don't call it a bar coat for nothing.
How about some grub?
Yes, sir. What would you like?
I'll have the mahi-mahi bites.
Excellent choice. Bon appetit.
Where'd you get that food?
Why, from our kitchen, of course.
And you just had it in your coat?
They don't call it a dinner jacket for nothing.
That hit the spot. Actually, I think I'm good.
Please let me know if you need anything.
Good day, sir. Checking in?
A I'm looking for a woman staying here named Mary Von Tool.
One moment. Yes. We do have a Mary Fontoul staying with us. She checked in the other day. A shorter woman with brown hair and brown eyes. Came here alone, paid cash. She's staying in room 203. I believe she's in there now. But you need a room key to get upstairs. The Chic Shell Hotel takes our guests' privacy very seriously.
How about if I ask real nice? Will you let me upstairs?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't let you upstairs if you're not a guest.
Can I get a room?
Ordinarily, yes. But I'm sorry to say we're all booked up. Is there anything else I can help you with today?
You're saying I need a room key to visit a guest? Can I just knock?
Like I said, we can't let just anyone upstairs. That's why we require a room key to use the elevator. Every hotel guest is given a spare set to loan out to visitors. That way it's up to them who's allowed to visit.
See you. That fish must like these tourists about as much as I do. I can't stand tourists.
Good day, sir. Going up?
Yep.
Great. I'll just need to see a room key before I can take you upstairs.
I don't have a key. Would a couple clams change your tune?
Sir, are you trying to bribe me?
You catch on pretty quick.
My job is worth more to me than a couple of clams, sir.
How about the whole chowder? Everyone has a price.
Not this elevator driver. I'm sorry, but my loyalty is not for sale.
I'm just visiting. I don't have a room key.
I'm sorry, sir. We require anyone going upstairs to have a room key. You can ask the front desk for more details.
On second thought, I'm afraid of heights. It's the money Mary gave me. It's a tear-stained letter addressed to Benny. Sounds like a fling gone bad. It says, Benny, you have to stop. I don't know what. Besides, I don't know what you. I'd like to remain sincere. I wonder if. Are you kidding? Money doesn't grow on trees, you know. Are you kidding? The chic Are you a camera-slinging, culture-sapping, self-centered tourist looking to be pampered like a baby? Then you've come to the right place. I don't need a picture of that.
Good day, sir. Checking in?
See you. I don't need a picture of that. I don't need a picture.
Hello there, handsome. Looking for someone?
Not anymore.
Oh, it's like that, is it?
You wouldn't happen to know anyone named Kiki Lawton, would you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Better hold on to your hat, 'cause she's the devilish darling you're gabbing with, Mr.
Detective. Voodoo Detective. Pleased to meet you, Mrs. Lawton.
The pleasure's all mine, Detective. And you can call me Kiki.
I was hoping I might run into my client. You wouldn't happen to have seen her. Goes by the name Mary Fontoul. Female, attractive, about 5'5". Looks like a little lost lamb that forgot the way home.
Who did you say you were again?
Bo Peep.
Well, I do know Mary, but she never mentioned a tall drink of water like you.
If you don't mind, I'd like to ask you a few questions about her.
What do you want to know?
Mary's lost her memory. I'm trying to find it.
Lost her memory? The same thing happens to me around 5 o'clock every evening.
Did Mary ever talk about her past?
Not once. Mary never volunteered personal information. And I guess I never asked. I'm not one to dig up the past once it's buried.
Do you know if Mary started spending time with anyone new recently?
She hasn't mentioned anyone to me.
Have you ever seen this pendant before?
I can't say that I have. Not very elegant, is it? Why do you ask? Oh, I know. It must be evidence from one of your cases. Is that it? Was it stolen? Or perhaps it was cursed. You did say Voodoo Detective, right? Oh, how delicious.
Settle down, Mrs. Lawton. No need to get excited. It's just a necklace. Do you know anyone who would want to harm Mary?
Well, her husband is quite wealthy. I'm sure there are plenty of less fortunate islanders who might resent her wealth. You know, eat the rich and all. But I'm speaking in generalities now. These people might feel the same way about anyone with 2 pennies to rub together.
Have you noticed Mary acting strange recently?
Mary? God, no. She's as reliable a friend as any I've ever had. Such a good listener. Always quiet, non-judgmental, slowly nodding to let you know she's there for you. And those stony black eyes of hers are so beautiful, like glazed obsidian.
Black eyes?
She's just lovely. An absolute doll.
I've got other questions. Are you staying at the hotel?
I certainly am. I find it a welcome respite. Domestic life can be so drab. Wouldn't you agree?
I wouldn't know.
Count your blessings.
Dining alone?
Why do you ask? Looking for a date?
Maybe I am.
Well, I'm sorry to disappoint. I'm expecting company, and my brand of entertainment is best suited for an audience of one.
I've got more leads to chase down. Gotta blow.
See you around, Detective.
I can't use that here.
What's new, Voodoo?
I've got a new case. Mind if I pick you?
Go right ahead.
What do you think of that lawyer on Main Street?
I don't know about him, but I know his wife, Kiki. She swills cheap spill at the Chic Shore restaurant.
What do you know about Victor Fontoul?
I don't know much about him personally, but he and Gordon Crunsford own a company called Island Ventures. They keep trying to take over the bar. I always tell them the same thing. I'm not selling.
That's enough. See you around.
Come.
Well, if it isn't Nugget.
I need the skinny on some of the locals.
Of course, VD. What do you want to know?
What's the story with Benny the butler?
Oh, that old so-and-so? Yeah, I used to mix in with him. It was nice to have a little zest for a while, but the twist is he thought it was going to be something more. Things got muddled and I had to get tough. Our relationship ended up on the rocks. He was pretty shaken up. Still, I hope he's doing all right.
I found this letter in Benny's room. Lots of tears on it. Is it from you?
Tears. Oh dear, that poor boy. Listen, VD, can you do me a favor? Can you give this to him? I don't like how we left things. I didn't mean to hurt him.
Have you ever met Kiki Lawton?
Is she related to Theodore Lawton?
His wife.
I see. Well, if she's anything like her husband, I'd steer clear. Some kinds of dirty don't wash off with water.
What's the story with Benny the butler?
Did you give him my letter?
Not yet. Do you know anything about the lawyer on Main Street?
Yeah, he does all of Island Venture's legal laundry. If I were you, I'd keep my distance. That weasel's liable to bite.
What do you know about the banker, Gordon Crumsford?
Oh, him. He and Victor Fontoul are always pestering poor Billy to sell the bar.
Thanks for the... I'm working a new...
Go right ahead.
Do you know anything about Victor Fontoul?
Sure, I know him. He and Gordon Crumsford, the banker, are always pestering poor Billy to sell the bar. Thank goodness he won't. I could never work for one of those tacky Island Ventures abominations.
Thanks.
No problem.
I spoke with Ricky. He asked me to give you this letter.
Oh, Ricky. Thank you, Detective. This means a lot to me. If there's anything I can do to repay the favor, just let me know.
Well, if it isn't Ben...
Hello, Detective.
Can you let me into the greenhouse?
Well, normally I'd say no, but you've been so kind to me. Here, take this. It's the key to the greenhouse.
Thanks. Thanks for the key, Benny. Nice flowers. Nice flowers. The bottom shelf has aloe, orchid, fiddle leaf fig, and mint. Looks like I'll be getting that mortar and pestle after all. Fruits and veggies. This place has it all. You can never have too many lemons. It's a bird of paradise. I've got your mint right here.
Wow, you found some. Thanks, VD. I was about to run out. You're a lifesaver. You have yourself a trade. The mortar and pestle are yours. Well, if it isn't... Of course, V.
What's the story with Benny the butler?
Benny and I had a chance to speak. Things are better now. Thanks, VD.
Thanks. I've... It's a mask. He's one of the This radio may be when I listen. So do I bet I could get that magnet out if I could find something to jimmy this thing open with. I can barely... Nice desk. My first aid kit. I don't have... I like having Homer. I like having Homer. This town has all the charm of a burning outhouse. When I list, I bet I could get that magnet out if I could find something to jimmy this thing open.
What is it that you want?
Good chat. I'll be seeing you, Eartha.
Folks always do.
If this candle were black, I could complete Grammy's owner Honer recipe. Too bad I don't have anything to dye it with. Yes, but then she's... It's a souvenir screwdriver. There's a tiny inscription on the side. I went to Zo Wanga.
Funny and functional.
I'll take it.
Thanks for shopping at Island Trader.
Suntan lotion. I'm not... The magnet came right out. think this qualifies as lodestone. Here's my lemon zest. I can't hold it. If this candle were black, too bad I don't have any.
Well,
Pour me another.
you got it.
Down the. Looks.
What's new? Go right ahead.
Can you tell me anything about Gordon Crumsford?
The banker? I'm not a fan. Born under a bad sign, if you ask me. A dollar sign, the money-grubbing glutton. He's one of those Island Ventures fat cats who keep trying to take over my bar. They want to pull the piano right out from under me. I always tell them the same thing. I'm not selling.
See you.
Come back again soon.
I see a white candle and I want it painted black. This black candle should work. I think that's it. The owner-honer mixture is ready to use. It's the owner-honer recipe I'm working on. It's ready to go. Looks like the spell worked. I can feel the pendant pulling me somewhere. Looks like the spell worked.
You don't smell like a man of business.
Nice place you got here, Mac. Though I prefer something a little more modest, like the Chrysler Building.
Who are you, and what do you want?
The name's Voodoo Detective. I'm a voodoo private investigator.
Ah, yes. I know who you are. You're Donut Hole Billy's brother. If you care for him, you should advise him to sell me his pathetic excuse for a business.
I'm looking into what happened to Mary Fontoul.
What do you mean? What's happened to her?
Someone's wiped her memory. Dame's got the recall of a senile goldfish swimming in a martini.
So, Victor hired a private investigator to figure out why his wife finds him so forgettable. I could have sniffed that out for him.
Actually, Mary's the one who hired me. I was hoping you could answer some questions.
I see. Very well, Detective. I'll hear your questions, but make it quick.
Have you ever seen this pendant before?
I have not, though I would gladly have it appraised. It may be of some value. You know, come to think of it, that pendant does look familiar. I can't place it, though.
I've got some questions about the Fontouls. What can you tell me about Mary Fontoul?
I don't know her very well. Our brief interactions are entirely a consequence of my business dealings with her dreadful husband. She always seems like a nice enough woman, which raises the question. What is she doing married to that cretin?
What do you have against Victor Fontoul? He seems like a decent man.
He's an abysmal human being. A cold brain divorced from any heart. You've known him only briefly. I've been working with the man for years. Give it time. You may see things my way.
Do you know why anyone would want to hurt Mary?
Mary? No. However, it isn't terribly difficult to invent reasons to harm her husband. Perhaps someone's gone after the goose to get the gander. Of course, now we're building pyramids of surmise on a foundation of ignorance.
I've got other questions. Smell you later, big guy.
Hey, what do you think you're doing? You stay away from my filing cabinet.
That must be Crumsford Sr.
Ah, yes. I like to think old Peepaw is watching over me.
That guy's... The pendant is pointing at this old mausoleum. Plaque says, Lamoon family. It's locked. There are fresh footprints leading inside. Someone must have been here recently. That's the Lamoon. It's locked, but there...
What is it that you...
Can you let me into the Lamoon mausoleum?
I am a grave digger, not a crypt keeper. I don't have a key.
Well, who's got it then?
Try Gordon Crumsford. He owns this cemetery. I merely fill it with corpses.
I saw footprints leading into the Lamoon mausoleum. Have you seen anyone going in or out of there?
Perhaps I did. Perhaps I didn't. My mind's a little misty.
Would a couple of greenbacks help dig up your memory?
I don't need your mortal coin.
I don't do bribes.
Then you're scratching at the wrong grave, Buster.
All right, Eartha. What's it gonna take?
Very little interests me beyond tending to the dearly departed, but I have had my eye on one of those new island brand shovels. Bring one to me, and it may resurrect my memories.
Good check.
Folks always do.